Welcome back to Beyond the Pew. I hope that your New Year's is going well, and to continue the theme of praying more as a family, today we're going to talk about getting your kids to Mass. And I'm actually sitting here in the pew that my family and I sit in, and I'm just one seat over from where I typically sit. As I talked to my wife about what I should say on this, she said, tell them not to do what we do. And it was a joke, but sometimes it's messy when you bring your kids to Mass. They're louder than usual, they make too much noise, and we as parents can be very self-conscious of how loud they're being. When I was doing some research on this, I came across a website. I'm actually going to share it in the video. You should be able to link to it below. But one of the things they said was not to be overly concerned about the noise your kids make, because a little bit of noise here and there, everyone around you actually expects it. And those that are 2 or 3 pews away can't actually hear it. We hear it loud and clear because we're tuned into every little noise that they make. But people in the church typically can't hear the little noises your kids make. So with regards to the noise that we make in Mass, I want to set the young parents at ease. And this video may be geared specifically towards parents of young children, let's say 10 and under. And we'll dive a little bit deeper into how to engage your adolescent children at another video. But when you're thinking about what you're going to bring with you to Mass, I would set your kids up for success. Don't bring in food, feed them before you come, because at that age, they're not actually held to the Eucharistic fast requirement that those of us at older ages are. So don't bring in food, feed them before they come. And if you're going to bring in something to entertain them, make it something special that only comes out on Sunday morning at Mass, and so it's something that they kind of look forward to, and make it something that's quiet. So not a hard toy or a hard book. Make it something that when it's dropped at Mass, because it's going to be dropped, when it's dropped that it doesn't make a really loud noise. Other than that, sit up front. So as I said, we're sitting in the pew that my family and I sit in, and we are on the very front of the church so that our kids can be more engaged with what's going on. And if you have older kids that are altar serving, granted you want to make sure that your kids aren't making faces at each other, but have the older kids altar serve, because your younger kids get to look up there and see them altar serving, see them taking it more seriously, and they tend to pay attention when that happens. Prepare your kids before Mass. So I mentioned earlier a little bit about preparing your kids for success. One of the things we want to make sure is that when they get here, they have the tools and they're equipped to behave well at Mass. So I would almost say give your kids a mission. Make sure that they know what their role is in the Mass, because each of us has a role to play at Mass, right? So the younger kids, their role to play is honestly not to distract the others around them, to help others around them to pray. So their job is to be still and quiet and to share their beautiful voices when it's time to participate in the prayers or to sing. So give them a mission before they come, feed them before they come, and maybe dive into the scriptures a little before you come. If you have a 5 to 10 minute drive before you get to Mass, have the older kids read the scripture in the car on the way to Mass, so that then even if you have to take your kids out during Mass, everyone's heard the readings. Because sometimes our kids do get a little too loud. If it's a little peep or a little bit of rustling here and there, that's not a big deal. The people around you expect it. If it's louder and more consistent, and you can tell that it's going to be one of those longer sustained cries, like sometimes my kids will trip here on this kneeler and hit their head on the front pew. Well, I know that that's not going to be a real quick fix. They're going to cry for a while until they're done getting over that pain. So I know that that's going to happen. I take them out, but I bring them right back in. One of the things about taking them outside of Mass, if you need to, is don't let them associate that time with, ooh, I get out of Mass or I get out of sitting still. Once they've calmed down, bring them back to the pew. And I guarantee that it's less disruptive to those around you to take them out a couple of times back and forth than leaving the kid in the pew making too much noise. I would personally recommend not using the cry room. To me, that I tend to relax in the cry room and let my kids get away with more. And that's not good for them, learning how to behave in Mass moving forward. And then other parents in there do the same thing. And it becomes a real big distraction for everybody, and even more so for me than my kids misbehaving a little bit in Mass. If you've made a resolution as a family to go to Mass more often, I want to encourage you in that. Even if it seems painful, seems messy at times, it's absolutely worth it. Get your kids to Mass, get them used to coming to Mass, and I guarantee it will pay off in the long run. And until next time, we at Beyond the Pew will be praying for you. God bless.